What's up, guitar friends? Jack here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, by the end of this lesson, you're going to learn how to play Zombie by the Cranberries on guitar. It's 4 chords all the way through, so it's a nice beginner lesson, so let's get into it. Okay, so the chords using this song are E minor, C major, G major, and D over F sharp. Now, they're all nice, easy open chords. This last one might confuse some of you, but really it's just a D major chord. And we're playing the F sharp as the root here on the 2nd fret of the low E string. Several ways you can play this. I like to wrap my thumb over the top, and then that kind of mutes the A string as well. We don't want that A string to play out at all. You could also just play, middle finger playing the 2nd fret of the G, ring finger playing 3rd fret of the B, and then have our index finger play the 2nd fret of the low E. That's maybe a slightly easy way to play it. Or if you want, you could just play a standard D shape. However, when I really listened to this track, I noticed that they play the chords in a certain way, which is really, really cool. And it's actually easier than playing the open standard chords that we all know. So check this out. E minor is the same, and I'm going to play with these fingers here. Reason being is I can now pivot to the C, keeping my middle finger on the fretboard. So all I got to do is take off this index finger and put the middle finger here on the 3rd fret to play C, but I'm not putting the index finger down here on the B to play a standard C shape. I'm keeping it off. So what I'm playing is 3rd fret of the A, 2nd fret of the D, and the G, B, and E strings are all open. A very nice sounding chord. It's actually technically a C major 7 chord, which, for lack of a better term, is more of a jazzy chord, but it's definitely not used in a jazzy context for this song. It's obviously this is like a grunge song, so it's kind of rocky, but it sounds really, really cool. Then we're playing our G major, starting off pretty normal with 3rd fret of the low E, 2nd fret of the A, and then the rest of the strings, D, G, B, and E, are all open. And I'm not even sure what that chord could be called, but it doesn't really matter. But it's like a G with all the open strings at the bottom. And then lastly, this D over F sharp, we're just gonna play one note here on the 2nd fret of the low E, and then we're gonna mute this A string either with that finger or with this finger. And then again, the 4 other strings are all open, so the D, G, B, and E, high E strings are all open. Again, I don't know what that chord's called, but when I listen to the intro of the song, these are what the chords I think they're playing, and it sounds really cool. And also, for beginners, you know, there's only ever 2 fingers being played at one time, you know, so it's even easier than playing all of the chord shapes. So check it out. Now let's talk about the strumming pattern a little bit. If you're a beginner, right at the start, you can just do nice simple 4 to the floor, quarter notes. However, if you want to play the intro like it is on the record, there is a certain strumming pattern, and we're going to break it down right now. So this is where our strum accents are going to be. 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Same with all the other chords. 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. If you can nail that strumming pattern, then that's pretty cool. If you can't, just stick with nice simple downstrokes on the beats for now. You will get there eventually. That is how the intro goes. Then the drums kind of kick in, bop, 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 bop. The whole band comes in. The guitarist steps on the distortion pedal, and he's hammering down 8th notes with downstrokes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're playing quite intensely, quite loud. You can add a little upstroke as we ring out that E minor, the bass is then playing the chord changes, and then there's a nice little lead line which happens at the end of that intro, and it also happens at the end of each chorus, so we're going to look at that right now. Most of this lead line happens on the high E string. It starts here on the 7th fret. We're using hammer-ons here, so we're going to play 7th, and then we're going to hammer on to the 8th. Come down to the 5th, hammer on to the 7th. Down to the 3rd, hammer on to the 5th. Down to the 2nd, hammer on and pull off again to the 3rd. Then we're going to play 3rd fret of the B string twice, and then just play open B once. So all in all, it sounds like this. If you struggle with hammer-ons, you can just pick each note individually. Honestly, I think hammer-ons are quite easy even for beginners. You just got to remember to kind of snap on pretty hard. Because if you snap on too soft, it doesn't really match the same note that you just picked. You could also slide if you want. Find that easier, but what they do in the record is definitely hammer-ons and pull-offs. The rhythm for that lead line, if we clap it out, it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. So a good way to practice the timing for that lead line is to tap your leg to the beat like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that can be tricky in the beginning. It's a little bit like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. So if you want, just get the lead line down without tapping your foot. And then when you're comfortable, try and bring that, tap to the beat in at the same time. So what's cool about this song is there's a lot of dynamics, which means there's a lot of intensity in how we play it and volumes and things like that. So from the beginning, the intro is kind of like a medium, soft dynamic. Not too loud. When the drums kick in, you ramp it up pretty hard. When we've done that, we bring it back down again. It's real soft. Lead line is there. And it's really, really soft throughout the verse. You can even just strum 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let the bass pluck those chord changes to 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Bring it up a little bit for the pre-chorus. Well, you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, we are fighting. We're just kind of strumming and bringing the intensity up a bit. Crescendo, which means bring it up in intensity a little bit more. So the chorus, it's in your head, full out, in your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Let's see your head, in your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Ride those intensities, throughout the song. You can hear when it gets louder, you can hear when it gets quieter, so you really want to work those dynamics as much as you can. That's what makes this song so great. There's other things you can do with the rhythm. You can accent certain rhythms within the chord progression. You can play this kind of rhythm. Accenting the 1 and 2 and the 1, the 2 and the 4 are like heavily accented. All the others are kind of like a medium accent, right? So 1 and 2. common kind of accented rhythm pattern that happens throughout a lot of songs, so it's a really cool one to get down. But that's basically the whole song. It's real simple, it's a nice one for beginners to get down, and it's a really rocking track that everyone knows and everyone loves. So I hope you get on well with that. Do let me know what other songs you would like me to do tutorials on. I'm always looking for new ideas, so please write them down in the description box below. I read all the comments, so please, that would be a great help to me and my channel, so thank you so much. Take care, my name's Jack, and I'll see you in the next video.